Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Longbox guys. With me as always is some of my very favorite people on planet Earth and beyond. Josh, how you doing and what are you drinking?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just going with a nice classic Sam Summer.
I had a bunch of that over the weekend when we went camping. We had the Sam Summer right there and boom, it was terrific. Laney enjoyed it a lot. Tommy, how you doing and what are you drinking?
I'm doing okay. I am drinking some Grangestone 14-year aged whiskey.
Well,
It's
that sounds
delicious.
nice.
It's delicious.
I myself am drinking a little bit of Trader Joe's scotch with a little bit of Crown Royal in a pint glass because I'm an alcoholic, not a Ken doll. Got to keep these things poured deep and poured big. Mikey, I saw you were drinking something delicious looking. What are you drinking there, buddy?
Yeah, I've got some blueberry hard cider from the Tennessee Cider Company.
Delicious.
And Pigeon, or no, not Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg.
Gatlinburg.
I hope there's another one saved for Tommy.
Maybe.
I do love all blueberry beans and ciders. That's one of my favorite things. Speaking of my favorite things, Mikey, what are we talking about this week?
We are talking about children as superheroes. After our Power Pack episode, we decided we're going to go with 3 of our top child superheroes. As always, we're going to do a round robin, and if somebody chooses one of your picks, yeah, it's all right. Just go ahead and drink and enjoy.
Drink, enjoy, and pipe up a little bit. I do remember us talking about this now, yeah.
So I'll go first, if that's all right with you.
Jean's.
And I am going to go with all the way back to 1941. Starring in Star Spangled Comics, Sylvester Pemberton was the Star Spangled Kid. He was a Golden Age character created by Jerry Siegel, who was one of the co-creators of Superman. He was unique, not unique in a kid fighting the Nazis. That was not unique in the 40s. However, what was unique about him is he had an adult sidekick named Stripesy, aka Pat Dugan.
That was fun.
So in addition to being a superb athlete and hand-to-hand combatant, he had a cosmic converter belt, which gave him kind of the powers of Starman. So he could project a force field, he could fly, that kind of stuff. And then, of course, Stripesy had no powers whatsoever other than the fact that he could drink legally.
That's not the worst superpower.
Yeah.
Man.
So if anybody is interested in the Star Spangled Kid, go ahead and check out Stargirl. That is the TV show. It's actually not bad. I just finished season 2. And if you're a fan of the Justice Society like I am, it's got some good callbacks. And I like seeing all those characters that I read when I was a kid.
All right.
And fun fact, Star Spangled Kid, a.k.a. Skyman, is being played by the guy who, from Community, what's his name?
Yeah, Hal. Not Hal. Hal's...
No, the other guy from Talk Soup.
From Talk Soup, you're right.
Joel.
Yep. It's Joel.
McCain.
There you go.
McHale.
Joe, yeah, either one.
Yeah, he doesn't know my name, so it's only fair. I'm going to just start drinking because, Josh, you got one of my picks.
So,
Delicious.
yeah, I'm just going to go.
Yeah, go ahead,
Miles
Josh.
Morales, Spider-Man of the Multiverse. First of all, if we want to harken back to the days of yore, just before the Spider-Verse movie was released, we had a podcast about what the best Marvel movies were going to be. And prior to its release, I said Spider-Verse would be in my top of my list, and I was definitely not wrong. That movie just propelled me into Miles and the Spider-Verse. I think the style of the animation, just the way they tied the whole movie together and the end and set it up for hopefully where it's going to go next. I think it's June of 2020 that we're going to see the sequel to that film. Miles Morales is just a great Spider-Man. He's just it was a great story. I think the translation and the diaspora into the comics is fantastic, and I just wanna see more of the Dash verse movies from Marvel, and I'd like to see them take it to some other characters that deserve that treatment. Actually, honestly, we were talking about the Miss Marvel Kamala Khan series earlier, and while I think it's great that there's the series on Disney Plus, I think if they had given her the Dash verse treatment in this style of animation prior to that film, exploded, right? I think it would have been perfection.
I'd argue with you there. I can see how that would translate over well. Plus, the kids would get a kick out of it. They're aiming for a kid audience, and that probably would have helped them a lot. Tommy, what's your first pick?
All right, my first pick, I'm going way back to 1995. This was kind of a big one-shot, and Rusty the boy robot from Big Guy and Rusty, which later had a one-season TV show, The Big Guy and Rusty. Never what better was an 8-year-old kid written as a boy robot than Big Guy and Rusty TV show. And that comic in 1995 started it all. It was just a great character, kind of based on Astro Boy, but just a fantastic character who, thought he was just a boy robot AI looking up to the big guy who was supposed to also be a robot AI, but really there was a guy inside a mech suit because the AI never really worked inside the big guy. But he was there to train the robot and to give the robot the illusion that that you have to be a good person as a robot and help people out. And it was just a great TV series that developed from that one-shot comic.
Nice, that's a good pick, Tommy. I never saw the TV series, but you said it was good.
Oh, it was one of the best cartoon series out there. So well written.
Do you know where I might find it?
The art wasn't as great as I would have liked it, but it was so well written that it's worth it.
Do you know where it's at? If it's around?
You can. I haven't seen it streaming anywhere, but you can find these.
I'll take a look.
They weren't released for a long time, so I ended up buying them bootleg, but you can find them now.
All right, I'll
available anywhere. But it took a long time for the rights to get released.
All right, for mine, it's a superhero team, actually. I'm going to start naming members, and whoever knows the team, jump in. I got my money on you, Mikey. Are you ready?
Sure.
Big words. Flip. Gabby. Scrappa. Tommy Tompkins. Gabby.
Newsboy Legion?
That's right, the Newsboy Legion. I liked the Newsboy Legion way back in the day. I mean, it was way before my time, of course, but I got a bunch of those old comics, and they were fun. For a vigilante group of children, they got the job done.
Street toughs, yeah.
Street toughs. They were like, yeah, they're street toughs, yeah. And they busted up Nazi infiltrators and third waivers and third fronters. They were pretty active in Metropolis and in Suicide Slum. And some of them later on become heroes of their own, like Guardian 2, a couple others, I think, grew up to be superheroes of some sort or other. So kind of think of them as the people who were handing out the newspapers. They had their ear to the streets. They were all reformed juvenile delinquents under the tutelage of officer, I think his name was Harper. I can look that up. Just an officer who kind of took them under their wing and tried to help them out and turn to the better way to do things, kids. And Superman helped him out a couple times, and Jimmy Olsen made appearances with the Newsboy Legion a few times, and it was just kind of a good, feel-good kind of comic, and it also was DC's way of trying to get kids reading those comics again. Mike, you read a bunch of those.
Yeah, well, it was very popular in the 1940s. Is created by Jack Kirby and Joe Simon, and then later on they made more appearances in Batman. But their Officer Harper is the uncle of Roy Harper, aka Arsenal, Speedy, whatever you want to call him.
Don't tell Diane I didn't have that information out the top of my head. People plots.
She's listening and going, "Why isn't he saying it?
Say it! Say it!
Say it! Say his name, Roy Harper! Yeah! Oh, sorry."
For those not to know, Diane likes Roy Harper a lot. One of her favorite characters, and well, a lot of ours. Mikey, what do you got next?
I'm going back to a giant size Batman comic from 1987. It was the magazine style. And in it's called Batman, Son of the Bat, or excuse me, Son of the Demon. Yeah. In it, Batman is drugged and raped by Talia al Ghul, and they have a baby. Now, the baby appears in the comic, but never has a name. And it is not until later when Grant Morrison is doing his run on Batman that he's like, remember that one-shot comic that nobody talks about? I'm gonna roll with it.
Wait, the one where Bruce Banner got raped in the giant magazine at the YMCA?
No,
not that one.
Different Bruce. Why'd you say Bruce? Why'd you say Bruce?
Why'd you say Bruce?
Yes. So
that's fun for us.
Yeah, Damian Wayne. At first, I didn't like him. He's a sociopath, but the more I read it, the more I like him because people treat him like a child, like he's super serious. But then when he sees a puppy, he's like, "Aw." So yeah, Damian Wayne. If you get a chance to read Super Sons Annual #1,
so you got to drink,
comic.
Mike, because Damian was on my list.
All right.
That was the one that I thought would be on all our lists. Josh got the sleeper on me. I forgot Miles for some reason. I think of him more as a teenager, but he's a preteen. He counts. Josh, what do you got next?
Did we draw the line at preteen? What do we?
I was just thinking kids.
Kids. Okay.
No, I agree with you. I think Miles makes the cutoff because he's younger than like an 8. He's not 18. He's not 17.
Yeah.
I still think of him as a kid, so I'm good.
Okay.
What do you got next, there, Josh?
So the character is someone who I liked. They were in the X-Men mix. They were never really a major character until later, but I loved the power set so much as a kid. I was like, if I was an X-Men, I totally want her powers. And that is Olyana Rasputin.
Oh, magic.
Magic. Let's see. I get a giant magic sword. I can teleport wherever I want, and I get a bunch of demon buddies to torment people if I need them. Yes, please.
You do remember what her childhood was like, right?
Yeah, worth it.
A rapey hell dimension. Oh, don't gloss over any of that. I've read all those.
Didn't I just say worth it?
All right.
Just saying, awesome power set.
It is an awesome power set. Her weird teleportation is pretty cool. I love the magic sword. I love her version of magic, which isn't so all-powerful that it pisses us off. Did you watch the New Mutants movie yet?
I did.
I liked it.
I definitely rented it.
I liked it.
It wasn't a masterpiece.
It wasn't perfect, but it was an okay attempt.
Yeah, Mike's plot was better.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Mike's plot's usually better. All our plots are usually better. Let's give us all of ourselves some credit here. That's a good pick. And of course, she was a child when she manifested those powers. She's grown up a little bit before our very eyes.
Mhm.
And yeah, she's terrific. Tommy, what do you got next?
All right. So originally it was known as the Mighty Atom, but we all know him better as Astro Boy. Created in 1952 by Osamu Tezuka. Great boy robot character. Yes, I like robots, especially when
Fair.
they're boy robots.
Okay.
Because they've got finger lasers, damn it.
Oh yeah, he's got those finger bangs.
For finger
He
blasting.
doesn't like
Yeah, finger blasting.
Yeah, everyone needs a good finger laser.
Yeah.
But but seriously, I mean, he's had countless comic books or manga. He's had movies. He's had television series. It's a great character.
Yeah, but they're not countless. We
Tom,
can count them. I'm just saying, I don't like when you say the word countless, and we can definitely count them.
I mean, they have issue numbers.
Yeah. They're
are
countable.
numerous.
Numerous. Thank you.
Numerous.
If I say
Numerous.
very unique around my wife, she loses her mind. And if you say countless around me and it's actually countable, I'm not that happy about it.
Video games.
Yeah, they're countable.
No, he also has video games.
Thanks.
Also.
I wish I had finger blasters right now, LT.
See, you want a finger laser.
I do want a finger laser. All right, for my next one, I don't know if we're going in perfect order here, but I'm going to say the magic word, baby. Shazam! Nobody else?
Yeah, drink.
Hey, drink. I was hoping someone would drink. Let's not forget that Billy Batson is a very young man, depending on what comic book or TV show you're watching. Sometimes very, very young, and as young as 14 in many of the comics. Living by himself in some cases, pretty much homeless or under the tutelage of an uncle or something, depending on the comic book, the time, the era. And it leads to some very strange things happening in the comic books, because this is a 14-year-old boy in this giant mature man's body. There was at least one issue when he was flirting with someone who was absolutely age appropriate for Billy Batson, but absolutely not age appropriate for the mighty Shazam. Tommy, you know that comic book. Which one was that?
I don't remember the issue number,
Michael,
but he
Michael.
did that through a number of issues before the Justice League took him aside and was like,
Justice Society
"Hey
of
man,
America.
this is not cool."
Justice
They were
Society.
like, "This is not cool."
Flirting with Stargirl.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Stargirl was he was what two superheroes took him aside and said, "Hey man, this is not cool."
Flash and Green Lantern, because they did not know he was a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did I get?
But-
I know Superman knows because he was so pissed off.
I was gonna say my favorite was when Superman found out and berated the sorcerer and was like, "How could you do this to a child?"
Yeah, it's a lot of power. It's a lot of power and responsibility to give to a child.
Yeah. In Justice League Unlimited, I think it's Superman and Batman who are in the know until there's like one episode where they're trying to decide whether or not he can join basically like the council, like the upper echelon, and Batman's like and everyone's like, what are you talking about?
You know what Billy Batson's thinking? Wisdom of Solomon, motherfucker. You want me on that council.
And also, Batman, you put children at risk in comics
all
All the time.
Like your fucking second job, Batman. Jesus Christ.
You dressed your sidekick in red to make them more shootable.
There's a picture of you at orphanages. Do not orphanage. Do not let this man adopt children. Does not end well. There's like too many bounce checks at the bodega. That's me.
Seriously.
Got the picture right there. Mikey, what do you got next?
All right. Next, I'm going to go to a superhero group also. I'm going to start naming off the members. Shout it out when you know the name of the group. Big Game. Shout out. Dog Knot. Pop Claw. Whack Job.
Oh,
Jet Streak.
from the boys.
Blarney cock.
Teen something.
Blarney cock, yes.
Gunpowder.
The Star Spangled,
Teen something.
give me a second.
You're on the right track, LT. Teenage kicks with a X.
Kicks with the
Yeah.
X.
Teen Kicks. Yeah.
I knew it when you got Gunpowder and Blarney cock in there. That poor
Blarney
guy.
cock.
Will you never stop being funny? Hopefully not.
So those of you who have not read The Boys, what is wrong with you? Go read The Boys. It is amazing.
Read The Boys.
But there are a bunch of lesser superhero groups. They make mention of them in the television show, but in the comics, Teenage Kicks is one, and they send Huey on his first assignment to infiltrate Teenage Kicks, and it does not go well, but he does end up rescuing a hamster.
That hamster was, let's just say,
Yes, he
he was up to,
does.
that hamster was almost up to no good.
The hamster, by the way, makes an appearance in the television show, season 3, episode 4.
Yeah.
Kills a lot of people.
Good on you,
Spoiled.
hamster. As well you should. Get your revenge like that red cat with the power ring. You deserve it.
I feel like I am gonna my declaration of this being the best season of The Boys is on the road for vindication. This is a good season.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna do Hero Orgasm.
That's what the next episode is, dude.
Man, when he made him eat Timothy, oh my God.
They asked Carl Urban to describe in one sentence the episode of Hero Gasm. He said, "In your face." Ew.
God bless Carl Urban. I send
Well
my
played,
grocery
Carl.
to him and him
Well
alone. Josh, I think that puts you up next.
I don't know. So I was gonna go with a team, but I think about half the team is actually aged out of what I would consider. I'll use them in my follow up. I'm gonna go with another X-Men. And right when she got to the team, she was the youngest at the time. And I know Tom's gonna have to drink with me now. Let's go for Kitty Pryde.
Awesome. Shadowcat.
Yeah, aka Shadowcat, and definitely right.
Sprite, Ariel. She had a bunch of names.
She did, and I think the miniseries where she goes, she gets kidnapped, and Wolverine has to follow her to Japan. Really, I think that's her. That's when she's no longer a child in my eyes in the comic, right? That's what turns her.
The almost the exact moment is when she learns to hold the sword up. Like, you just have to ignore the pain. That's what this is. That's what our life is. And when that's in my head, that's the moment that Kitty Pryde isn't my, schoolgirl crush. She's now my grown-up crush, and I can stop having bad feelings.
Yeah. And she becomes a badass right then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wait, this phasing thing, I can use this pretty wickedly if I ever got the idea to.
So yeah, the fact that she can not only turn herself, but she can temporarily turn objects that way makes a big difference in the whole game.
I'm just gonna leave this apple right here in your chest. Well, how's that feel? Does that feel weird?
Yeah.
Does that feel weird?
A little strange.
A little strange, a little weird.
Strange.
So yeah, I drank with you on that one. I love that. Two of my favorite comic books of all time are still Guess What Just Came Down the Chimney, and the one where she plays Dracula. I love that one.
Yeah, she's just a character that they've treated very well over the years, and I'm glad that eventually they made her one of the leaders of the X-Men in the later days, and just just a fantastic character. And like you said, like on set, it seems like a simple sort of defensive power, and then they show the progression of how to turn that into a devastating weapon against people.
But like the Invisible Girl's power was like so simple at the beginning, and then she realized I can put a very small force field bubble into your bloodstream, full of air, and that's pretty much that, right? Yeah, that's pretty much that. And no one that is not showing up on an autopsy. Just saying.
So,
Yeah, I like Kitty Pryde. I also like the juxtaposition between, her as the kid and then as the adult when in the all new X-Men when the 5 original X-Men from the past
yeah.
go to the future and Kitty Pryde is their instructor and the teenage X-Men who were her instructors are now the students and they do not like her.
They do not like her.
Especially Iceman because he's like, wait, I dated you? Ew.
Yeah.
You're so old.
Wait a second. So who did I date? A girl that I can't touch. Another girl that
Well,
I can't touch.
touch.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
That turns out he didn't want to touch girls. That
Yeah.
was the thing.
Yep.
Yep.
LT, who you got next?
Richie Rich.
He
Okay.
did have a superpower, same as Batman.
Same exact superpower as Batman.
Same exact power as Batman.
Yeah.
Often would save the day using his superpower
Money.
and all of his accoutrements.
Not one that I
but
would have thought of, LT, but I loved Richie Rich as a kid.
And they
as
did
a
have
kid, he was everywhere.
Yeah.
they did have a bunch of Richie Rich comics where he played Super Richie, and his butler was his sidekick. All
The robot butler.
no.
Yeah,
No,
the
but-
robot
but-
butler.
But the robot butler used to do all kinds of crazy stuff for him.
Yeah.
That allowed him to do super things. And he even had a cartoon when we were kids as well. Saturday morning cartoon.
Mike,
I
you don't
remember
remember the
watching.
robot butler?
Ravona.
I do not remember a robot butler in Richie Rich.
Oh, she used to be able to change into all kinds of stuff.
Oh.
Whatever he needed.
Butler or the maid?
The maid.
Yeah, the butler was human.
Yeah, I
Butler
think I
was
got it mixed
human,
up. You're
yeah.
right, Mikey.
I know my
Well,
Richie
the robot
Rich.
used to be able to.
I
I
read
know
a
my
shit ton
Richie
of it
Rich.
as a kid.
Richie Rich, that's a good one there, Tommy. Good on you.
Tom, who do you have for your last pick?
My last pick is controversial, only because it's a person that everyone thought was a little kid, but wasn't. Any ideas, Mikey? DC Universe?
Gary Coleman?
Looked like Gary Coleman had the same thing that Gary Coleman's got going on. Talking about Baby Doll. Baby Doll was a DC character first appears actually in the Batman cartoon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the animated series.
Yeah, the animated series. So Baby Doll is this child actress from like the 1950s and 40s or something crazy like that, who had a disease where she never went through puberty. She just always looked like she was like 11 or 12 years old. And she was obsessed with staying young and staying cute and beautiful, even though that wasn't really that big of a, that wasn't that hard for her. Much like Wonder Man was obsessed with accidentally dying, even though he kind of couldn't. Baby Doll was obsessed with the fact that she didn't want to age, even though she kind of couldn't. She became kind of a mobster, leader of one of the underground factions that was a rival to even Penguin for a while. Later on, after the TV series, and she was just kind of a fun character. So picture Shirley Temple at her youngest as a mobster with an adult human brain, who also the brain went through puberty. So that led in the comic book after the cartoon into some kind of risque areas. Even in the cartoon, it does allude to the fact that she has normal human longings in this body. And it was kind of an interesting character to me, and I always thought it was kind of fun. So I guess that brings us to honorable mentions. Mikey, what's your first honorable?
I'm going to go with the Legion of Superheroes, originally pals of Superboy, inspired by Superboy's adventures in the 30th century or 31st century, depending on what century it currently is. They team up with Superboy and they hold up his ideals of superherodom into the future. I love every series. Some series they have them as adults, some series they are teenagers, but the art by Mike Grell was just amazing for a young boy in puberty. So yay!
I loved all of Mike Grell's stuff.
Josh, any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the whole team of Young Justice. I know some of them are sort of on the older edge, and some are at the younger side. I mean, technically, Superboy's 2 years old at the beginning of the series, so. But like Beast Boy and Miss Martian is relatively young for her species, and honestly, Young Justice just continues to be one of the greatest animated hero series ever, in my opinion. So, and the latest season is also very good. It starts out a little weird, where you're like, I'm not really following what's going on here, and they like to do that a lot. Like they throw in a major subplot to like clog the airways, and then hit you with what the real storyline is like halfway through the season. So, and they do another good job of that, I think, in the latest season.
It's interesting that you mentioned Young Justice because Gail Simone had a little thread on Twitter a few days ago where she was talking about when she would talk to people before she became a writer for comic books, when she was just a fan, whenever she would meet other female fans, they would usually talk about different independent comic books. Be, but when she asked them what got you into comic books, there were two series that both starred young people that drew everybody in, or all these female readers in, and that was Teen Titans and the X-Men, because they had strong, powerful female characters. And Young Justice is just a version of the Teen Titans.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think that's probably still true today because a lot of the younger or female readers started by watching TV shows, and I'm sure Young Justice was super popular among female watchers because that's why they canceled it.
That's literally why they canceled the show, which is amazingly short-sighted.
Yeah,
Amazingly short-sighted, but I mean they were thinking about those toy sales, and that's they thought only male watchers would buy the toys, and that's dumb.
Yeah.
Here's a weird tip, and it's so anti-sexist, I can't believe it. Girls buy dolls too, right? They
you might have heard of
girls
it.
buy dolls.
Yeah, action figures. They're dolls with hair.
Yeah.
The other one for me is Tim Hunter, Books of Magic.
Oh, fucking awesome pick.
Yeah.
Great way to introduce anybody into the world of magic is to pick up the Books of Magic starring Tim Hunter. Is fucking Harry Potter years and years before fucking Harry Potter was even
and so written. Much cooler.
Yeah.
Much less transphobic also.
Also way less transphobic.
The only thing I don't like about that book, by the way, and it's a weird thing to dislike, is I haven't been able to get it on Comixology. I only got it in the Kindle, and the Kindle doesn't let you sweep the panels at all.
Comixology doesn't let you do that anymore either.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Only on your fucking iPad, and the rest.
That's all I got.
Yeah, and the rest of us. Hey, Amazon, I know you're not listening, but fuck you.
I only got it on iPad, so I have no problem.
Supposedly, according to a tweet, they fixed that, or they're working on fixing it.
Yeah, they have a big list of bugs and a lot of... Dude, they own the Comixology code. They bought it. Just fucking restore the website. Do a search and replace for Comixology and put the word Amazon there and shut your goddamn trap. Amazon, I'm talking to you, and I know somewhere this podcast is going to be on one of your servers.
There's a bot listening.
Because you own everything, and there's a bot listening. And someone at Amazon's going to be like, I totally heard that. Sure. So I'm telling you now, Jesus fuck, just restore the goddamn Comixology website, do a find and replace on the goddamn names and logos, and put it back up. because I'm about to go fucking ape shit.
Because everybody wants it.
I canceled my Comixology Unlimited.
It's unreadable.
I was like,
There's no
I
point in
don't.
having it right now.
You guys keep saying that, but I haven't found anything wrong because I only use my iPad.
All right, Tom, I had to buy a new tablet to use it because it wouldn't work on my old tablet. So I bought a new tablet to use it, and still on my new Android tablet,
Well, that's
still
the thing about
every
Android.
3 fucking panels, it brings me out to a fucking full page, and I have to like double tap to get back into panel to panel.
It's terrible. It's on.
It's terrible.
I
It's
hear
glitchy
what
as
you're
fuck.
saying. I'm just saying I haven't had any of these problems because I only use the iPad. I want to be indignant with you guys. You're my boys. I love you guys. I want to be in on the hate.
It's so awful right
But
now.
the iPad works perfect.
Yeah, it's unreadable though. Like I don't want to. I don't.
There's no good way to search for shit.
My newest iPad is a Gen 2, so nothing works on it. My iPad is older than some of my nieces and nephews at this point. And I don't want to buy like an $800 goddamn iPad to freaking read a comic book. Just let me watch it on my goddamn monitor or my laptop.
I just
so
bought
awful.
every Rat Queen. The Rat Queens finally dropped all the other issues.
Yeah.
And I spent $50 on comic books this weekend on Comixology because all the Rat Queens dropped.
Yeah, well, that's a good comic. It's totally
It's a
worth
great
reading.
comic.
Love it.
Great.
I'm
Love
just
it.
saying that like I bought brand new Samsung tablet version released like in February, so it's not like an old version of the tablet. Like bought like the 256 gig internal storage, like higher storage capacity one, and every third fucking swipe it brings me out of the guided view.
And you got to double tap.
And I have to double tap to get back into it.
You
and
spoiled
sometimes when I want to get out of that view to like access another freaking thing, I can't.
Let me tell you this, Tom. In a browser, there's no guided view. None.
There's no guided view.
That sucks. That sucks terribly.
And it doesn't even scale to my monitor. So I have a giant ass widescreen monitor for playing video games. So it shows up as this narrow band in the middle of my giant fucking monitor. And I just want to murder the world.
It sucks.
I can't even read it. Like I can't even read it. Like I physically have to like drag it in and pull it up. And then like, okay, now next page, drag it in.
That's what I have to do if I get with Books of Magic on my Kindle. And I hate it. So I feel your pain on that.
God.
Sorry, we got off on a tangent. That's usually not what we're doing here. Tommy, you still have a honorable mention.
I'm gonna say Robin.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F, and G.
Just get out your little wheel of dial of Robin.
I'm gonna go with Tara from the original way back in the day when she was just the sidekick for Slade and seducing everyone in very uncomfortable ways.
Okay, she was in Young Justice. I'll drink.
Drink. Do I have any other good ones that I liked? That's about it. Mikey, got any last ones to pop in there just for fun?
Yep.
All right, moving on to the front of the long box. Mikey, what do you got at the front of the long box?
At the front of the long box, I got something that you are going to enjoy if you like noir, if you like detective stories, and if you like colorful comic books involving superheroes.
Ooh.
If you loved the Bwahaha Justice League, you are doing yourself a disservice if you are not reading Tom King and Greg Smallwood's current rendition of Human Target. In it, Christopher Chance poses as Lex Luthor. And although there's an assassination attempt and he stops it, what he finds out afterwards is he's been poisoned before that assassination attempt. And because of the residual radiation on it, Mr. Terrific figures out that it had to be somebody, or not Mr. Terrific, Dr. Midnight figures it had to be somebody from the Justice League International team. And now it's a noir story with Human Target trying to figure out who killed him before he dies. And you have not. Look, I love everything Tom King does except for Heroes in Crisis. And I got to say, his dialogue with Ice and Christopher Chance, just fucking magic.
Is it like 1940s? Like, hey, a girl like you can give somebody trouble. Trouble, something you know about their high pockets.
It's like that, but much cleverly done. Where
Hey,
she's
I was
talking
on the
about,
spot there, buddy.
where she's like, yeah, the temperature usually drops when I'm somewhere for a while, and he's like, my temperature's not dropping. Then he's in the water with her, and she's in her bathing suit, and he's like, you think with as cold as this water would be.
There'd be shrinkage, but it's not happening.
So yeah.
Where can I
check it
get
out.
that? Don't say Comixology.
Fuck Comixology. You can go to your local comic book store. It's still coming out, the series, and you could probably get the back issues, or you could just wait for the graphic novel to come out. I'm reading it on DC Universe.
Maybe I'll get DC Universe. And how's that?
Oh,
Drew?
it's glitchy as fuck, but not as bad as Comixology.
My
I never
big
thought I'd
problem
say
with-
those words. I never thought I'd say those words.
My big problem with that is they didn't put all their war comics on. I kind of held it against them. You own them, just put them on there, man.
True.
Sorry, I was going back in time there. Going back in time is Tommy's world. Tommy, what do you got at the back?
I have Star Wars Omnibus Rise of the Sith. This came out in 2015. It's about 450 pages. It took me forever to read it on Comixology because every 3 panels I got taken out of the freaking book and I had to get back in the guided view. But this is a great story that takes place kind of before the prequels in the movie world, and it tells the story of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, and it also tells the backstory of Ki-Adi and some of the other Jedi Council members, and it also goes into some of the backstory of Darth Maul. So it's a great book that fills in some of that storyline.
All right. Well, those are all characters I care about, so maybe I'll go for that one. I'm definitely going to go for the Tom King one. Josh, that was a little bit of a tangent we went on there, especially on the Comixology thing. But you're the king of tangents. What do you got for me?
So the other thing I forgot, so on our other minor podcast that only our Patreons get to listen to, called the Geek League, we usually play some games. We talk about other things we do during the week, and one of the things I did this week was I found just randomly through Twitter a very small, succinct, rules-light game called Primal Quest. The fellow who designed it, he's somewhere in South America. I can't recall, but the general premise, it's a tabletop RPG. It's a pre-Bronze Age caveman-esque, but with a little shamanistic magic thrown in, coexisting with everything from dinosaurs to the Ice Age kind of creatures. It reminds me of very much of the cartoon Primal. If people haven't seen that, it's a brilliant cartoon that's completely non-verbal. So there's no dialogue whatsoever as a caveman tries to survive in a world with dinosaurs and befriends a T-Rex, and it's just a brilliant short cartoon series. So in that same vein of the whole us coexisting with our dinosaur friends of the past. So top 3 dinosaurs you would want as pets if we coexisted.
You know, most people can't name 3 dinosaurs, right?
But everyone here can.
Oh, yeah, everyone here can, surely.
All right. the first two would be the two dinosaurs from the Herculoids.
Vrock and Igu.
Yes,
Well, who doesn't want to shoot rocks out of your head?
exactly. Those two were great.
Well,
And then probably a raptor. Or, yeah.
that's because you like to live
Small
dangerously.
mid.
Yeah, Velociraptors.
Yeah, well, you know, but there's
once you actually see them in their historical contexts, are not the things from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I can just give you a turkey.
Pretty much.
I'll bring you a turkey. Like, Laney's been attacked by these things multiple times over the last 2 months. I'll bring you a turkey.
It's like a
They
turkey
suck.
mixed with a leopard.
just saying, having something rather small around it for those big guys is probably a good idea.
Well, part of my brain wants to say brontosaur, but of course we know that doesn't really exist. So I'll say the correct term, which is brachiosaurus, because they're cool and they're giant, and it would be like loving a tank, like a tank. It'd be like loving a train, I suppose. Like, ooh, my brachiosaurus. Triceratops is always my favorite. Cool. They're super armored. You know, ride one of those into battle, that'd be awesome. And since I want to be able to get places, hopefully my pterodactyl will fly me around. That's my 3. I got land, sea, and air there. I'm assuming Brachiosaurus will let me ride on his head when we're going through the ocean. I'm also assuming they swim like elephants.
Could be.
Mikey?
I'm going to go with Dr. Dinosaur.
Devil
From
Dinosaur?
No, Dr. Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Yeah.
From Atomic Robo, because crystals. And then I think he'd be all I need. I think just drinking with Dr. Dinosaur would just be fucking fun.
That's fair.
Done, yeah. I forgot about Devil Dinosaur. That'd be fun too.
I mean, I guess I could go with Dino Mutt. He's a dinosaur, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's got Dino in its name.
Yeah.
Got that on right in the name.
You know what? We could just go with Dino. The dinosaur.
Yeah.
And he's so cute. And Baby from Land of the Lost. Though I think that was a Brachiosaurus. Misnamed him Brontosaurus. Damn you, Bone Wars. All right. Josh, you didn't say your 3.
Triceratops is just my favorite dinosaur of all time. And not only because of just how awesome of a creature that is, but the thing that really shot me forward on the idea of the Triceratops was the cover of the first D&D battle system box set, where the dwarves had carved in the arrow notches into his armored flange so they could fire out through it, and it's the whole cover of a bunch of dwarves driving a Triceratops into battle, which I loved. And then I'll go air, sea, and land. So Triceratops for land. Quetzalcoatlus, which was named after the Central American god, was the largest of the winged dinosaurs, technically a reptile. And then Mosasaur was the largest of the sea reptiles during that same period. I mean, it was basically a city bus with a monster face just eating shit. The thing was fucking huge. Like it made modern, like, I mean, a full-sized, the maximum size great white at this point is no longer than its head, than its skull. So
Wow.
that thing was big.
So bigger than Megalodon.
Yes, bigger than Megalodon.
Nice.
Yeah, it was the largest predator in history.
Okay, you guys ready for a 3 to 18?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
We've done carnival food before. Today I want to go with carnival games. Now, I'm a very generous guy. I don't super love carnival games because they're so rigged against you. But I always play them because I'm a sucker. So because they allure me, I got to give them at least a 13. But I also kind of hate dolling out the money because I know I'm not going to win.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I do play.
I'm going to tell you a quick story. We were at the Jersey Shore. My sister had wanted the whole family to go down there because that's what we did when we were kids. And so she had her kids with her. and my niece Taryn at the time was maybe 7 or 8 years old when we went down. We're walking down the boardwalk, and there's some, I don't even remember what carnival game it was, but there was a giant purple hippopotamus that she kept crying for. So I shooed them down the boardwalk. I turned the corner back around and slipped the guy at the at the game $20 to take the fucking hippopotamus and left. I hate carnival games. I do not want to play them. I don't really want anything to do with them. I played them, I guess, when I was a kid, but honestly, if there's a prize somebody wants, it's just easier for me to bribe that kid working there and take what the thing is. I'm gonna give him a 5.
A 5?
A 5.
Wow, that's real low.
Yeah.
But they don't get you like they get me. They always get me.
They don't
I always want to play.
I do not.
All right. Tommy.
Yeah, I'm with Josh on this. They are definitely a scam, and I'm gonna go with probably a 5.
But you don't want to climb the stupid shaky ladder?
Oh, hell no.
Fun.
Yeah,
If
the problem
anything,
is there's only 2 points on the end. If there were 4 points, you could do it.
Yes. Oh, it's doable. You're just not by you.
Yeah, you have to be a tightrope walker.
monkey. Yeah.
You have to stay exactly in the middle at all times with your weight balanced in the middle. There was a great video by an engineer who talked about how rigged the games are, but then he brought a Major League Baseball pitcher to the carnival, and they cleaned up those milk cans. You have to hit them dead center, and it has to have enough force in order to knock them over. And people usually substitute the force for the accuracy, but this guy didn't have to, so he just kept on winning prize after prize after prize until they were like, "You're done. There's a limit. You can only win 3 prizes." But yeah,
You can have anything between the gum and the erasers, above the Pez containers,
but
to
the
right
left of the
pencil.
googly eyes. I was at one in Vegas at Circus, and it was the dart thing, and I just couldn't lose. And I won a Gonzo as the Tin Man that was as big as I was. And the guy hands it to me, and I'm like, the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I can't get it on the plane. Right? This is a fucking white elephant I've ever seen. And this kid goes, "I love Gonzo." I'm like, "Oh, thank Christ. Here you go, kid." And I threw it on him, and he collapsed under the weight of it. And I think he hit his head pretty hard. But me and my wife were out of there.
But at the end of the day, how many rounds did it take you to win Gonzo, the giant Gonzo?
It really only took me like a couple.
Sure. And how much did each round cost you?
It was Circus. It's actually pretty cheap. It was just a weird anomaly. I might have played like 4 times. And I just couldn't lose. So it's probably $8, $9, $10.
Right, and they got that thing from Korea for $2.
Oh yeah, absolutely $2.
Yeah.
Like I tried my hardest to get the guitar, which was the next thing, and I did not. So I just got lucky on the first 4. The guy goes, "Wow, you get this giant thing. Like 1 more, you get the guitar." I'm like, "I'll try $2. I'll try 2 more. I'm fucking myself over here. I'm gonna leave." Yeah. Couldn't have got the guitar on the plane either, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, side note, we should all play Primal Quest, man. It's good. It was fun.
Should. Mikey, did you do your 3-day on that? You said, yeah. All right. I'm the only guy that gets suckered by that?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 5.
5, 5, and 5 and a third.
Wow.
And I'm only giving it a 13 because they always get me. I would love to give it a 5, but I always maybe I could do it. And I smile.
We're all anti-scammers.
And I don't hate losing $2. I guess that's my thing.
I hear you. Yeah.
All right.
Never been my thing.
I guess that brings us to plugs. Do we got anything coming up? Not so much this year.
I'd like to thank Kirby Crackle for providing our geek rock music every week. You can check them out at kirbycracklemusic.com. And I'd like to thank the maker of my inhaler because I'm having troubles breathing. So you're not going to hear from me the rest of the podcast.
Josh, you have a couple of things coming up. You're going to be teaching longsword soon.
I have nothing in July. I have Gen Con is the next thing. August 4th to the 7th. The great old tabletop RPG con has definitely become a diaspora of board games and everything everything we love out there. And it's nice. The last time I was there, there was actually a football game in the stadium, so the space was more limited. And the Oilers stadium there is a domed stadium, so normally all of the board games and everything is on the field, like literally on the football field. So it is huge. And they are back to that mentality this year. So I'll be teaching just two sword classes, and then just hanging out with the Linos and eating, drinking, and playing some games out in Indianapolis. That's August 4th to the 7th. Yeah, Gen Con. Can't wait.
Wish I could join you, but I'll just be coming back from the Ukraine at that point. I'm going to be taking a week. At the end of July, I'm going to the Ukraine. I'll be right on the border, not going too deep in because I just saw what happened to 3 Americans who got captured by the Russians over the week. So I'm going to be careful just on the border, and helping run a food truck that's going to go around to a couple of the different aid points and running a food line that's for people fleeing the country. So I'll be doing that from July 25th to August 1st.
I'd like to plug geekorthodox.com.
Hello, Tammy.
Hello, Tammy, and your new puppy, Esme. Hi, Esme. You are
we got a new
adorable.
puppy?
So cute. Yeah.
What's Esme named after? Do you know?
I do not know,
We gotta
but
find that out because I
Esme
love
is
magic.
fucking adorable.
I'm glad they were of course, you never replace a puppy, but I'm glad they were able to get a new puppy eventually. And Esme sounds like a wonderful addition to the Lino line of accoutrements.
So cute.
So cute.
Geekorthodox.com, purveyor of fine stained glass prints, Johnny Skywalker Rocks glasses, socks, you name it, they got it. If you want t-shirts, you got to go to ianlino.com, but they have all your geeky needs over at geekorthodox.com and ianlino.com.
Tommy, you were so happy to get back on the track. I would like to thank Josh's game store that's right up the street from him because they gave me a whole bunch of Pokemon cards. What's the name of that game store?
Great stories, books and games.
Stories, yeah. Terrific guys. They have a lot of game room in the back. The last time I went there, they had a ton of people playing a couple of different games in the back, and they just seemed real nice, super friendly. You know, I told them I had like some kids who were learning Pokemon, and they could have been nicer about helping me out, pick out some cards, and do some stuff. That group is doing. Oh, it's a cute puppy.
Oh, it's a cute puppy.
Oh, for those of you who are listening to this televised podcast, we just showed a picture of Esme, the cutest puppy. One of the cuter puppies ever. We gotta stop making those pugs, though. God wants them dead. It's everything killed. Like Bulldog. I had a great Bulldog. Rest in power, Tug. But we gotta stop making those kind of dogs, man. We're not doing them any favors. Nope. How your baby boys? You got mutts. Mutts are great.
Dodger is 10 or 11 this year, and still puppy-esque.
They do great. Their mutts, they do great.
He runs, he plays, he's super happy.
And he takes shit this year?
No health problems whatsoever. No. We do the oral medication. Him and Baxter.
We do that with our guy too. We're camping. We just had to pick some off the fur. Thank goodness. Had to pull a couple out. I would like to also thank the Longbox Legionnaires who are subscribed to our Patreon-only podcast at the Geek League. And that's a great point, Mikey, because the Geek League is our other podcast that we do every single week. And we just talk about nerdy stuff that we're doing around town, TV shows we're watching, other things other than comic books in geek culture. And all the money does go to the Elizabeth Peabody House, which is a terrific establishment house that helps people make ends meet in a variety of ways, including daycare, after school, school clubs, and also a food pantry. Food Pantry is open once a week, and we help families, make ends meet there. This week alone, we fed 90 families, including some families who are just coming over to us from overseas. And we'd like to thank them for coming over and visiting us from the Ukraine. And hopefully we'll get you back to where you want to be soon.
Indeed.
Indeed. Short wars. For God's sakes, let's have a short war. Mikey, I'll just say this. This podcast is a lot like Drunk History, but for comics. Is that correct? Yeah, just
Cheers,
not.
Yeah, the YouTubers know what's going on. The rest of you guys, not so much.
Some of us don't see it, but you guys know what's going
got
on.
it.
The
He
kids don't
knows.
get it, but we get it. Those are anal beads, in case you don't know what I'm doing here. Josh, Indianapolis, is that your sector?
Oh yeah, Gen Con's totally gonna be our sector. I can't wait to hang out with Linos, the Geek Orthodox, playing games, swinging swords. It's gonna be great.
It'll be a good time. And Tommy, sweet Tommy, what do you got to say?
If you haven't gotten your shot yet, get a shot. COVID's been ticking up.
Shots,
And,
shots.
Do your part, get a shot.
Do your part, get a shot. Couldn't have said any better myself. And don't forget what I always say. Don't just what you hate. Just promote what you love. You live longer. Thank you so much from the Geek League.
Love you. Bye-bye. The Longbox guys.
Bye-bye.
It's fun.
All right, the Longbox guys.